So, let's keep on keeping on. What was I doing? Yeah, I was listening to
A
them.
young woman holding a guitar. Completely the wrong way, I might add.
Alright, good for her.
If this is how they store their coffee beans, it's probably a better idea to ask for tea.
Sleeping
Asleep
bloke.
at a coffee house. One of life's little ironies.
Oh, wait.
She's running back and forth at lightning speed. Clearly, she dips into the coffee supply. Give me an old-fashioned tea kettle any day. Seems like they have a little something for everyone in here.
Good.
The specialty house brews. These are definitely not coffee.
Perfect. Give me one of those. Entire barrels. Let's stand over here. Alright, so we're done to blah blah blah. Alright, good. So, you.
If it isn't my old friend, up to no good.
Hello, Fordham. It's good to see you.
How did you get them to let you in here?
It's rather simple, really. The owner and I have an understanding. He pretends women are allowed in coffee houses, and I don't report his unsavory business practices to Chief Snelling.
Sounds like a good deal. What sort of unsavory business practices are we talking about?
Oh, we haven't got time to get into that now. But take some advice.
Irrelevant.
Don't order anything that isn't water.
I got your message. What's going on?
It's time for you to join the big boys again, Fordham. Your days of finding lost cats are over.
So stop teasing me and tell me what it is already.
Do you know Madame Laura Dupre?
She's kind of dead. I have read.
Laura Dupre.
44 years
She's one
old.
of those Gascon Grand Dames, isn't she?
That's right. I'm surprised you've heard of her. I didn't think you cared about those types
She
of
was in a
people.
friggin'
I
magazine.
don't, but Adelaide has several of them as clients.
Oh.
She gets paid to pretend to care about their lives, and I get to hear the sordid details.
Madame Dupre died the day before yesterday. Her funeral was held this morning.
My condolences.
But halfway through the service, the mourners heard a loud knocking coming from inside her coffin.
She wasn't dead?
Apparently not. Nearly interred alive, although her doctor swears she had no pulse. Dupre's son Andrew was quick to suspect foul play. He accused a man named Albert Martin, and the police arrested him.
So where do I come in? Sounds like the case has already been solved.
I strongly suspect that Martin is innocent, especially considering the talk of him having used black magic on Dupre. The police feel they have enough evidence to convict, so they're not bothering to investigate any further. You're going to look into it and see if I'm right, then find the person who was really behind this.
Okay.
Why not just ask Madame Dupre herself?
She hasn't spoken since the ordeal. Apparently, she's been catatonic since they pulled her out of the coffin.
How unfortunate.
If you'd like to question Mr. Martin, he's being held at the Bow Street Jail. Or you could take a look around his house. It's at 451 Compton Street in Worcester.
And the Dupre home?
That's at Emmeline and Comtesse, right across from the old Angeline convent. It's also possible you might run into the police during your investigation, since they're technically still on the case.
Thanks for the warning.
Was there anything you wanted to talk about before you get started?
Not sure. Yeah, okay, sure.
Yes, actually, I had a couple
About
of questions.
Let's hear them then.
Herself.
How are things going with you?
Work is hectic as usual, and I'm spending my day off in here. But considering my home life is still a shambles, maybe this is the best place to be.
I'm truly sorry about that.
Don't be ridiculous. If it hadn't been for you, I'd still be chained to that philandering bastard. It hasn't been easy, but I'm much better off this way. Trust me. Anyway, work gives me something to focus on. I'm sure you can relate to that.
Yes, and I'm grateful to you for getting me these case leads. I know you're taking a risk to do it.
It's the least I can do. How about you? How's Adelaide?
Good.
She's fine.
Yeah.
Although things between us could be improved, if I'm being honest. The less said about it right now, the better, I think.
I'm sorry to hear that. You can talk to me about it if you need to, although I'm probably not the best person to ask for relationship advice.
Yeah.
Don't suppose there have been any developments regarding Bill's murder.
Unfortunately not. The department hasn't exactly been focusing on that case as a priority. The general attitude is that it was an accident. Bill died an honorable death in the line of duty.
Would have been nice if they bothered saying that at the funeral.
And of course, there are still those who blame you for his death, Snelling being the first and foremost.
But the man who really caused Bill's death is still out there.
Yes, I know, but it looks like you're on your own if you want to find him. My hands are tied. I can only ask around so much before the higher-ups get suspicious. Just don't give up. New Britannia may be a big city, but the criminal world is surprisingly close-knit. If you find any connections or leads during your other cases, be sure and let me know.
Will do.
I'll do the same if I find anything out.
Thank you.
See, she has a priority strain. You could learn a lot from Upton.
Agree. Yeah.
I wanted to go over the case with you.
Okay, what have you got?
Not sure. Yeah. Huh?
What do you know about Madame Dupre?
Only what I've read about her in the paper. She's been married thrice, which I can empathize with, and she's extremely rich, which I can't.
What makes you think this Martin fellow is innocent?
The fact that the only evidence is the word of Dupre's son. I've seen this sort of thing thousands of times, and I'm sure you did too. They're just looking for a scapegoat. You're the only person I know who can put it right.
Upton's intentions are noble, but she has to realize this is just a drop in the ocean.
That's enough about the case for now.
Okay,
That's it, I think.
then you'd better get back to it.
Will do. Yeah.
Well, I'm not entirely sure how this is going to help you find the flower shop
How
burglar,
about here?
but I suppose freeing an innocent man is a worthy diversion.
Not too sure. Can we get in? No, we can't. Out then. And that is probably the fashionable place. No, that's the fashionable place. That's home. Yeah, sure, let's go there then. Compton, yeah, that sounds like
Compton Street. We're not
place.
too far from Restaurant Row. When's the last time you ate, anyway?
Please, let's not add eating to the list of things to nag me about.
One of Atwood's re-election posters, sorely lacking a mustache. Go on, Miles. Fix this grievous
Will do.
injustice.
Not now, Bill.
Huh?
There are more important things to worry about.
Spoil sport. I'm glad that Coulson still uses horses. I don't trust the new self-driving cabs. Considering how many eating establishments are in this neighborhood, the butcher picked a fantastic spot to set up shop. I do notice a distinct lack of stray cats in this neighborhood, though.
well, that's just a butcher shop. Alright, anything else apart from door? New, so in.
I'm sorry, I have no time for visitors today.
Don't care.
I need to speak with you about Albert Martin.
Albert? Are you with the police?
Yes.
No, I'm a private investigator.
No.
Oh,
Lie.
I don't think you can help. I'm sorry.
Sorry to bother you. I'll be on my way.
Good day to you, sir.
When? Of course I am. That's the ticket. No. An honest bloke. Been there, so that is what? Oh, yeah. That's where he's
Fordham?
saying.
Is that you? You look like something a cat spat up.
Hello, Giles. It's lovely to see you, too.
What brings you round the jail? I thought you'd quit being a detective.
I'm looking to speak with Mr. Albert Martin.
Oh, I see. Well, that's him in the first cell there. I'd say what needs saying as quick as you can, though. He's headed for the gallows in the morning.
What? Already? But what about a trial?
No trial necessary when there's black magic involved. This little half-breed's already sealed his fate.
Good.
Such a charming fellow, isn't he?
I suppose. And hold on.
I bet that's a direct line to the police department. You should make a rude noise into it when Giles isn't paying attention.
Shoulds. I agree. Yeah.
Not much of a view. But then it's not as though people in here are meant to have many luxuries.
That's nothing, right?
Either crime is low, or the police aren't doing their jobs very well. Not much in the way of comfort. No bed or even a bucket. It's a good thing this place is meant for short stays.
That's nothing. Alright. You then.
Mr. Martin?
Who are you? My lawyer?
No, I'm actually here to help you. The name's Miles Fordham. I'm a private investigator.
How are you going to help me?
Not
I'm
sure.
looking into the attack on Madame Dupre. I believe you're innocent.
Oh, thank heaven. That's music to my ears.
Do you mind answering a few questions for me?
Friend, if it means saving me from the noose, I'll tell you nothing less than God's truth.
Interesting choice of phrase for someone accused of using black magic.
Accused. Only accused. Yeah. Oh.
What can you tell me about Madame Dupre?
What's to tell? She's a twisted, evil woman who got what was coming to her. Whoever attacked her deserves some sort of reward for the service they're doing the community.
So it wasn't you then?
No, I'm innocent, Mr. Fordham. You have to believe me.
I'm afraid you're not making that very easy right now, Mr. Martin.
Yeah.
Do you know anything about the circumstances of Madame Dupre's supposed death?
No, I had nothing to do with it.
Then why did her son accuse you?
Probably because he's just as ignorant as she is.
Ignorant.
What I meant was,
Ignorant.
how did her son know to accuse you? Have you had any contact with the family before?
Yes, you could say that.
Uh-oh. That gleam in his eye says it all.
You see, I'm involved with Dupre's daughter, Juliet Montgomery. Dupre doesn't like that one bit. She even threatened me once.
Is that right?
Yes. She might have everyone else fooled, but that woman is the devil incarnate. I can't understand how something so heartless and cruel could have spawned someone as pure and, loving as my dear Juliet.
He's not really helping his case much, is he?
Tell me about Juliet.
She's wonderful. Such a beautiful, kind soul. She hasn't come to see me yet, but I'm sure that's because of all the confusion in the last few days. Juliet wouldn't believe for a second that I would be capable of harming her mother. I'm sure of it.
How did you two get involved?
We met at the university.
Your classmates?
Hardly. They wouldn't allow someone like me to enroll there. Juliet studies botany. I work as an assistant in the greenhouse.
Oh, nice.
We started talking, and she actually treated me
You like
like
flowers,
a
though.
person. To everyone else, I was just the boy who fetched the test tubes. But Juliet actually wanted to hear what I had to say. Had the same taste in books and art. Didn't just treat me like some piece of gardening equipment. She even shared some of her notes with me after I told her I was interested in botany as well. From there, things just got better. I don't expect you to understand or approve, but that's how it happened.
Oh, you'd be surprised. It doesn't sound too different to how my wife and I got together. Except I was a detective and she was a singer at a bar.
And she's...
Yes, Mr. Martin. Anyway, back to the matter at hand. How often is Juliet in the greenhouse?
Every weekday, but I doubt she's there now. She's probably trying to find out where I am and working to have me released.
Somehow, I wouldn't bet on that.
Okay. Yourself.
How did you end up in here?
I was just minding my own business at home when the police showed up with no warning. They made some outrageous claims about me putting some sort of curse on Madame Dupre. The next thing I knew, I was here. Oh, Mama must be beside herself with worry. I just hope she's all right.
Yeah.
What does your mother do, Mr. Martin?
She helps people.
I was hoping you'd be just a bit more specific.
She provides spiritual help to those who seek guidance.
She's a spiritualist.
Not quite. She's more like... how can I explain it? You know how a priest holds mass to spread the word of God to the people? My mother holds services and calls on the spirits to walk among us, providing healing and guidance.
So she's a religious leader?
If you want to give her that title, it would be the most appropriate.
And does this religion of yours have a name?
You'd probably know it as voodoo, but it doesn't mean what you think it does. People are so quick to judge and portray us as evil when they have no idea.
So you practice voodoo, do you?
Are you making fun of me, Mr. Fordham?
No, of course not. Apologies if it seemed as though I was. It's just that the police are convinced that black magic was involved in Madame Dupre's apparent death.
That's because that idiot son of hers knew about my mother, and like all bigoted fools, assumed that we're involved in devil worship and the black arts. But I can assure you that this is most certainly not the case, Mr. Fordham.
Of course, I didn't mean to imply.
Just forget it.
That's all for now.
Wait, before you go, would you do me a favor? would you go see my mother at our house and give her a message?
Oh, message, yeah.
You're at 451 Compton Street, right?
Yes, that's right. Could you tell her I said St. Rock's dog is barking?
I suppose I could do that, yes.
Oh, thank you.
Whatever happened to a simple I love you?
So, St. Rock's dog something. Yeah, let's right click as well. Sure. Clues, non-suspects. Message from that. Here's... Oh, that one. Yeah, close. Head on out of here. Go to Compton again.
You again? I told you I have no time for visitors.
Dog thing, something, whatever.
You're Albert Martin's mother, aren't you?
Who are you?
Miles Fordham. I spoke with Albert, and he told me to give you a message. He said to tell you that St. Rock's dog is barking.
Yeah, that.
Oh, I see. That's good. That's very good. You better come in, Mr. Fordham. Standing on the street just won't do.
Okay.
Welcome to my home, Mr. Fordham.
Thank you.
I am Sabine Martin. I hope you understand that Albert has nothing to do with this awful business. Would you care for some tea?
Well, her tune certainly changed when you gave her that message. I wonder what it meant.
No, thank you, ma'am. I won't be staying long.
That's Mother Mary or
Virgin
something.
Mary?
Yeah, Virgin
I
Mary,
must
yeah.
admit, she was the last person I was expecting to see in here.
That's nothing about...
A rather unremarkable book collection, I'm sorry to say. That statue, on the other hand, gives me the willies.
That statue or that statue, that is not a statue.
For all we know, that rider is some sort of demon. He looks like he's having a good time, at least.
Good for him.
It's some old man with a dog standing at the center of a crossroads. If that's meant to have any sort of significance, it's completely lost on me.
Yeah, that's it, like Crossroads the movie and such.
That pattern resembles a flower. Too bad it isn't an Easter lily. Interesting. Those pots look as though they've been wrapped in tobacco leaves.
Yeah, tobacco's quite powerful within voodoo and such stuff.
I'm afraid that room is private, Mr. Fordham. I must respectfully ask you to not go in there.
Alright,
Of course.
alright.
My apologies.
Sort of... Oh, bloody hell, the phone. Pause. And we are back. Yeah.
I've got a few questions for you, Mrs. Martin.
I'll try to answer them the best I can.
Thank you. Yeah.
Do you think your son is capable of doing what he stands accused of?
Never. Albert wouldn't harm a fly.
That's what the mothers always say.
Yeah, it's a...
Why don't you tell me a
human,
bit
not
more
fly.
about him then?
He started working at the university laboratory a few years ago. I was so proud of him. The university is quite selective, you know. The same for its staff as well as its students.
Yes, I've gotten that impression.
I always told Albert to be careful around those high society types, but that one always thinks with his heart first.
Is she sure that's the
Sorry.
correct body part?
He's all the family I have, Mr. Fordham.
Do you know anything about Madame Laura Dupre?
I never met her in person, but I know plenty about her.
Like what?
Nothing fit for a polite conversation, Mr. Fordham. But I can tell you this. Laura Dupre has far more enemies than she lets on.
Does that include you or your son?
It most certainly does not.
What do you know about Juliet, Madame Dupre's daughter?
I know Albert was smitten with her, no matter that I told him to be very careful around her kind. Those rich Creole families don't care much for people like us. To them, we're just a help. But from his telling, Juliet sounded to be a decent soul. It's a shame the same can't be said for her kin.
If you'll indulge my curiosity, what exactly was the meaning of Albert's message?
St. Rock is the patron saint of dogs, as well as the falsely accused. If he sent the message along with you, it means he trusts you, and that I should too.
Oh, I see.
Perhaps you were hoping for something more? That's just the way of mysteries, isn't it?
How do you mean?
The thrill of the unknown is always more exciting than the truth. Mystery makes life a little more interesting.
True.
True, but if mysteries were really better unsolved, I wouldn't have a job. What exactly is it you do, Mrs. Martin?
I provide services to the public.
A delightfully vague answer if there ever was one. Give me something a bit more specific, please.
I'm a Mambo Asugwe. That means I'm what you call a voodoo queen. I'd give you a detailed explanation of the responsibilities and duties of the role, but your time would be better spent clearing my son's name.
Can you tell me a bit more about your religious practices?
What I can tell you is that the ignorant whites in this city are afraid of us for no reason. Voodoo is not about black magic or dark spells or turning people into the living dead. It's about healing and life. Naturally, there are misguided souls who may try to use it for ill purposes, but I am not one of those.
Sounds like you hit a sore spot. Might be a good idea to stop pressing her on this angle.
What? Ask for tea then.
I think I'll take you up on your offer for tea, after all.
All right, Mr. Fordham. You'll have to give me a few minutes to heat up the kettle. I'll be back shortly.
So, okay. She goes inside. No, she doesn't. Oh, bloody hell. Yes, save. Let's do that. And sure. Yes, and let's try that.
Amazing. Even more voodoo stuff back there. Why would she keep these particular items hidden from view?
Oh, no.
Good question.
They obviously have some importance to her. I'd suggest asking, but I don't know if that's the best idea given how sensitive she seems to be about the subject.
Agree.
The tea should be ready in a few minutes, Mr. Fordham.
Perfect.
You can help yourself once it's done.
You're very kind, Mrs. Martin.
Anything else new? No. What?
I've got a few questions for you, Mrs. Martin.
I'll try to answer them the best I can.
This isn't all going to end well, will it?
About that back
never mind.
room of yours.
I beg your pardon?
I don't know about this, Miles. Is this really a road
But he
you
can
wanna go
ask
down?
what is behind it without saying that I've not watched it. I mean, what's it all about is what you can ask without pressing, right?
Actually, never mind. I misspoke. Thank you for your help.
My pleasure.
I mean, why is it so important to you that you need to... There's no friggin' tea then, you bastard.
There's no way you'll be able to look behind that curtain
I
when
know,
Mrs. Martin...
but I don't care. Yeah, screw it, let's
She's
go for
not
it.
going to be much help right now. That's not to bother her.
Where's my bloody tea then? Come on. Now, right then. Hey, let's call that an episode. Thanks for watching. Take care, see you. Have fun.